right, so today we got Dan with us, and Dan, you've got this really cool company over here, Paddling Paradise.
Yep.
I actually found you because me and my girlfriend want to go do the bioluminescence we heard about, and everybody on Facebook kind of said you're the guy to go to. So how long have you been over there doing this?
I've started the business about 9.5 years ago, and we were in Melbourne, and we moved down to where our location's at now about 4.5 years ago, and it's good.
Where's that at? Where are you guys at right now?
It's 4220 Dixie Highway, Palm Bay, Florida, 32905.
And so do you guys do paddle boards and kayaks, or are you kind of specialized one over the other?
Paddle boards and kayaks, and we're a Hobie dealer, so I don't know if you know about Hobie, but they're a pedal drive kayak, and it's unreal for kayaking. Yeah.
Pedal ride kayak? It's pedals?
Pedal drive, Mirage drive, yeah. Yeah, so when you come down, we'll put you on one of those, and once you go Hobie, you'll never do anything else.
Once you go Hobie, you never go.
That's it.
But when you say, so you use your feet?
Yeah, it's a back and forth motion, and it's very cool. It's a extremely efficient way to kayak.
I'm picturing like when I was a kid, when I'd go on like the paddle boats, and it was like, oh my God, when am I going to get off this thing? So this is fun.
Terrible. Oh yeah.
Okay.
We actually have a 4-person one right now. It's called the Fiesta, the Hobie Fiesta, and it's 4 people can go on it, plus kids if you wanted to, and it's all pedal drive kayak.
So do you sell kayaks and paddle boards too?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So we sell, we rent, we do tours, we do a little bit of everything. We do racing, we do training, we do race training every Tuesday. Right now we're doing a summer series for a 5K race. So we do 5K racing, just like a 5K run, which is a lot of fun. Anybody can come out for it. You don't have to have any experience.
Is there like a fee people pay to do?
It's all free.
Really?
Yeah.
You have to bring your own equipment though.
Or we rent, yeah.
Okay.
If you need to rent equipment for the events, it's $10 for the race training.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
You know, it's cool. And I told you I moved here from Palm Beach County, and I was at the beach one day somewhere in Boynton Beach, and there's the beach is packed. There's this big event going on. I couldn't figure out what it was, and it was some kind of a paddle board from was it from the Bahamas?
Yeah.
So they paddled from the Bahamas over.
Yeah.
I think it was for some kind of a drive or something.
I want to say it's cystic fibrosis or something. It is. There is a cause that a great cause that it's going for.
And that's a long distance to be on a paddleboard.
I think it's about 80 miles, yeah.
Wow. I imagine there must be a boat that's trailing along there in case you clam up and you can't move.
Yeah, I think everybody, I've never done the event, but I think everybody that does it has a support boat. And then you can also do relays. Some people do it single, some people do it as a relay.
So you yourself, you've been doing this for quite a while. Did you also do this as a sport yourself ever, or is it just a hobby always for you?
I compete. And I do a lot of different things. I've competed all around the country with it. It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
And you compete on kayak, paddleboard?
Paddleboard. Yeah.
Paddleboard.
Yeah, I'm actually paddleboarding around the state of Florida right now.
Right,
not as we sit.
I was going to say right now you're sitting in.
There's the Florida saltwater navigation, circumnavigation around the state of Florida, similar to what people do with the Appalachian Trail. Most people have done it on kayak. I think everybody's done it on kayak. I don't know for sure if there's anybody that has done it on a paddleboard.
And how long of a time frame does it take place over?
You can do it for your whole life. Some people do it through, just like the Appalachian Trail. You just get on there and start walking and running and hiking. And this, I hope to have it done by about next year at this time.
You've already started?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been doing segments.
How far have you gotten?
All of Brevard County, all of Indian River County, almost all of Brevard County, most of Brevard County, Indian River County, from Boca all the way down to Key Biscayne.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And you've done that in what period of time?
A few months.
Okay, that's a lot.
Yeah.
You seem like you're in pretty good shape, so I imagine you can't let yourself go too far if you plan on competing and doing these long distance treks, I guess you would call it.
Yeah. Usually if try to do 4 hours or so, 4 or 5 hours, 4 miles an hour. So.
And you do it by yourself, or are you with people when you do this?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah. It's convenient to do it by yourself now. I mean, I like to have other people with me, but you can do it now with an Uber. I'll paddle somewhere, get to the end, lock my board up, Uber back to my truck.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
That's like when we lived in Washington, when we would go rafting down the rivers. you know, you used to have to bring a car down there and
That's
have
right.
one car at the top because it's a one-way trip. Now you can get down Uber, go back up to the top. So Uber's changed everything. I didn't even think about Uber in that aspect.
Yeah, well, and so speaking of that, I mean, in paddleboarding, we do downwind paddles here. So you're surfing in the river, and when I tell other surfers that, they don't understand it most of the time. But we surf in the river here often, right out here, right in the Indian River.
What do you, and you, how, what do you,
Because there's waves. If
from
the
boats?
if the wind's blowing super hard out of the south or the north, these boards we're riding, 14-foot boards, you can get on those and connect waves all the time.
Really?
For hours and hours, yeah.
So for somebody that's new to surfing, is that an easier?
No, it's complicated.
Okay, it's more
No.
complicated.
As a surfer, you can see the waves and you can start to feel what the river's doing. You can do it without being a surfer, but surfers can get it easier for
Really?
sure. Yeah.
And you have this stuff on your Facebook?
Yeah, when we
Frank,
when we do
can we
events,
pull over to Facebook?
when we do events like that, yeah. It'll be on there.
There you go.
Yeah, different things that we do. That was last night, actually. That picture there was from, we did our first official bioluminescent.
This was from last night?
Yeah. So we had about, I don't know, 50 or 60 people out there. Bioluminescence is really good right now.
And so explain to people what that, because I just found out what I've lived in Florida my whole life, and we don't have that up in South Florida. So tell people that don't know what that is.
I can't really give you the details on it.
Isn't it like the water changes colors?
Oh yeah, anything that's moving in the water. You think anything that moves in the water, the fish, the dolphins, the manatees. It's the water is basically glowing. There's the Fiesta right there.
Which one?
That one that you're on right there.
This thing?
Yeah, that's a 4-person kayak. That's a 360.
Wow.
Camera.
That's a 4-person kayak.
That's it. Yeah.
And this is what's the one you were telling me that we're gonna love? Is this
That's a Hobie too.
right here?
Yeah. So that's a Hobie. See the pedal drive right
Oh
there.
yeah.
And then that's my grandson and my son-in-law.
Man, look at the head of hair on that little guy.
Yeah. It's so much so that a local magazine just called him my granddaughter. So, yeah. That'll be fun.
Retraction.
Yeah.
So I noticed here your Facebook, you've got quite a bit of traffic on here.
Yeah, we try.
You know, and part of having people on the show, obviously, we don't want to bring somebody on here that's done Melbourne dirty.
Right.
You know, you've got 153, looks like 5 out of 5 stars. So people are definitely digging what you got going on.
Yeah.
So, okay, we'll go back over here.
Yeah, it's crazy how the whole Facebook thing works. I mean, I posted about the bioluminescence last week, and that was one of our number one hits just by mentioning that we were doing that. 21,000 reactions, I guess, in 12 hours.
So when I found out about this, I was actually, we were at a bar eating chicken wings, and we heard the waitress talking about it, and then we didn't know when it started. So apparently, I think you said was it today?
Yesterday. It seems early, but it can start July. Last year, I don't remember going out and having any good sessions until August. But yeah, it'll go now until we get our first cold front.
So somebody books a tour, right, to go, and it's usually probably them and their family. Can you do private tours too, or is it just group tours?
We usually just do group tours. You could do a private tour, and it's got to be done. It's best to be done around a new moon. So like last night, it wasn't as good as Friday or Saturday and Sunday we went out. It was overcast, so it was really good. Last night, there was about a quarter moon, I believe. So it was a little bit bright for bioluminescence.
So the darker it is outside, the better?
Exactly.
Okay.
So you don't want any light whatsoever, if at all possible.
So I always thought new moon was like almost a full moon.
No,
so new moon.
Is no moon.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Are there ever times where somebody like books a tour and they go out there and nothing happens, like the water doesn't sparkle?
It happens, yeah.
Okay, that must be a bummer.
Yeah, I haven't figured out how to control everything yet.
You don't have an on and off switch for this thing?
No, I don't have that. I can't control those or the dolphins or manatees. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you see those out there too?
Last night, dolphins were out.
It blows my mind, the dolphins here, because in South Florida, you might see a dolphin on occasion. Here, every time I walk the bridge, they're coming up right up the shore, basically, and you see the little blowholes and all that. It's kind of neat.
Yeah. Right where we went last night. Last night there were a couple out there, but sometimes there'll be 6 or so right in that same area for some reason.
So you've had this business for a while, and clearly people in the area must know who you are. Do you get people that are from here or around here that don't know about this and don't know that you're out here kicking ass doing these things?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. You know, I was doing a different field. I was working in the wireless field before I started this business, and I was traveling too much. And the reason the business started was because I was traveling too much. I got boards. I had a small condo. I had too many boards, so I needed a place to store them, and that's exactly why Paddling Paradise started. I need space for storage, so I created a storage space, and then it turned into retail and
Really?
and
So
everything
so
else.
this was a hobby of yours.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I've surfed my whole life, so I enjoy the water, and I started it as a necessity.
So prior to this, you said you were in the wireless business. You mean like wireless phones?
More designing of wireless systems for different, it's either satellite, microwave. Last gigs were at the VA hospitals around the country or Hilton hotels doing wireless stuff for them.
So you worked for a company?
I was a contractor for different companies.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you made a change and went into a completely different industry. So
Yeah.
talking about that, what were some of the, were you like, how am I going to make money at this? Did that come to you right away, or are you just kind of confident?
You know, I'm a pretty confident person, and I just feel that somebody is doing something, and if somebody else can do something, I can do it too. You know, there's obviously bumps in the road, and there's a learning curve for sure. But I think, if somebody else is doing something and you have at least a little bit of what you think it takes, then you can probably do the job.
Are you married, kids, any of that fun stuff?
Divorced, one daughter with the 3 little boys.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
Are they all local here?
Yep. Yeah,
Okay.
everybody and my family. I was born here. My family's still here. Brother, 2 sisters, my girlfriend Karen.
How long have you and Karen been?
More than a week. Yeah. A few years.
A few years. Okay, so that's cool. So it's
yeah.
it's serious.
Yeah.
It's serious.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a serious relationship.
And she gets along with the family and
Oh,
kids,
yeah.
grandkids, all that stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
I imagine that's got to be pretty important.
Yeah.
So getting into this industry with because you left probably something that paid, I imagine.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like anybody could just go get that job that you had.
Right.
So you left a high paying career to start your own
Yeah.
entrepreneurship here.
Yep.
What are some of the early mistakes that you made looking back at what you thought would be easy versus hard?
I think one of the things is still interesting as somebody that is coming from a field that's not anything to do with what I'm doing is trying to figure out how to buy stuff, purchasing, and buying the right products. And we have been very lucky to get the great products in that we have. I mean, Hobie is the #1 kayak brand in the world. Fortunate to have them as a brand, and just a lot of luck and maneuvering to get some things in.
Does Hobie sell direct too, or do you have to be
You have to be a dealer. So they're and they protect their areas.
Okay, they protect their territories.
40 miles usually, depending on the.
So you're the only
population.
guy in the general area that has these products.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And on your Facebook page, do you guys talk about Hobie and things like this to educate people what it is, or do people see it like, oh, he's got paddle boats?
We do. Most people consider them pedal and not paddle.
Okay.
But yeah, we're listed as a dealer for them. So people that know what they know, they can find Hobie and do that, and find us. We're listed as a dealer on the Hobie website.
So you're on their website. So if
Yeah.
somebody goes to their website, looks where they can purchase based on where they live, you pop up.
We pop up, and we're the only place, for the most part, within 100 miles or so that we highly encourage people to come and try before you buy. Whether it's a paddleboard or a kayak or whatever, anything that we have in stock, you can try it. No matter if it's a brand new, one-of-a-kind thing that we have in the store, you can come and take it out and put it in the water. We don't sell you anything. We want you to purchase what you want. I feel pretty confident that nobody's ever returned anything to our store
Okay.
in 9.5 years.
And if somebody were going to go purchase, let's say somebody like me, that's I think I've paddleboarded twice in my life and
Right.
kayaked 1.5 times. Would a price point is how much do these things cost generally for an entry level paddleboard?
So paddleboards roughly $800, up to 3,000.
Okay. Through this company?
Yeah, well, paddleboards we have a couple different brands that we carry
Okay.
from them. SIC Maui is one of the brands that we carry in Tahe, which used to be a company called Bic, which is the same company that made lighters.
Oh, Bic lighters?
Yep. They've been making water sports products for 30 years.
So you just get to play in the water all day. And how many employees do you guys have over there?
6.
Six
right
employees?
now. Yep.
And these are full-time people?
Everybody's part-time.
Okay.
And we're lucky, we have FIT here at the college, so we get FIT
Students?
students, so
Looking for summer work and whatnot?
Summer work, and then, some of them stay on after that. So.
Is this your busy season right now, going into it?
Yeah. Busy season usually starts in March, and then it runs through September or so.
That's a decent little amount of time.
Yeah, we have a long season, and then even on our winter, as we're growing, being on Turkey Creek is a very unique area. Paddling back in the sanctuary.
Haven't been there yet.
Again, there's nothing. Yeah, when you come, you'll see there's nothing like it for 200 miles from here. And
we might
amazing.
have to not post this until, because I'm probably going to come out next week.
Okay.
Maybe I'll take some footage when I'm out there, and then I'll add it into this.
Sure,
I think it'd be fun because we're so excited. I mean, it seems magical to see the water do these things that it can do out here.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get to see it.
Yeah.
So you grew up in Melbourne. You went to high school in Melbourne.
Yep.
Is it weird? Like, do you still talk to people that you went to high school with? And
Yeah. And I think I think Melbourne, O'Galley is a special place where I do still see a lot of the people that I went to school with, and I'm friends with the people that I grew up with. Most people that were born here stay here. I mean, they travel, but they come back. Like me, I've traveled around the world, and this is just a great place to be.
It's so different from South Florida. I was talking to a guy we had on last night. He just came here from Quebec, and they started a roofing company, or a deck and rails company, and he was saying the same thing. But in South Florida, almost everybody there is from somewhere else.
Yeah,
Melbourne, everybody here is kind of nice. It's like a very family vibe atmosphere. So you went to high school here. Now, switching careers, how did you start making money with it? Where did the light bulb go off that, hey, I could rent, and what insurance and all this stuff? Like, you had to pre-think all of this.
No, there's no pre-thinking. there should have been. I mean, I just jumped in. I had some ideas. I did some research, some basic research, and then fortunately, when I was working for the VA, I happened to go out my last couple of jobs before I started this company. I knew I was going to start, but I was out in California for 3 months, and then I was 2 months in Hawaii working with the VA. So I did my own research, going into shops out there and seeing what worked and what didn't work, and things like that.
Was it hard to get some of these Hobie? Is that what it's called?
Hobie.
To get Hobie to, they won't just work with anybody. It's like, hey, I'm opening up a,
right. Well, fortunately, there was a Hobie dealer in this area for years, but he was mainly, and he's still in this area he still lives here, but he was a great sailor. Didn't do much with kayaks. So when he was ready to sell his business, we bought his business, basically.
Okay. Oh, so you bought, okay.
The rights to sell Hobie here. And then soon we have a major expansion going on where we're at, so we'll be bringing sailboats back as well.
Really?
Yeah. In the bay, right in Palm Bay.
How many kayaks / paddle boards do you guys have available for?
Seat wise, I usually say right now we probably have 50 or 60 seats available. So whether it's a 2-person kayak or a paddleboard or pedal drives,
and you guys stay. Did COVID throw a wrench into your game at all? Because
at first it did, like everybody else, but right after that, it went. We had one of the greatest seasons ever. All water sports, all outdoor recreation, bicycles and boating and all that went pretty.
That's
crazy.
probably one of the first things that opened back up, right? Yeah.
We never really shut down. I mean, there was a brief period where we shut down, but
was it scary for a little bit, or?
Yeah, at first, I mean, the city called us and said, we have to close our doors, and I appealed that, and then we talked, and turns out that we never really shut our doors.
Just kind of slowed down a little bit.
Slowed down, got compliant with all the things we needed to get compliant with, and then moved on. Yeah.
Is this is this business yours by yourself?
Yes.
Okay. So no partners, nothing. That must be a lot of, partnerships is like, it's like a marriage, right? It's headaches and forgot to put this on paper.
Right.
So
yeah, and you have to wear all the hats, I mean, and you just keep learning. I mean, that's the great thing about, one of the great things about being an entrepreneur is, if you have the ability to keep learning, just keep learning.
How do you take time off?
I don't know what that means. I mean, I am extremely fortunate. My time off is when I'm paddling around the state. So I'm doing what I love, and I love what I'm doing.
Do you also handle do you do all the sales and all the customer service and?
Yeah, I mean, I have good staff at the shop, but I'm doing all the purchasing and anything from buying the Hobies, putting an order in for those, and then buying garbage bags at the local store.
Doing it all.
Yeah.
And I'm when I say excited to go, it just because the river. Now, where you go here, is it through the river area? Because I saw some of the photos, and it doesn't look like anything I've seen around here.
So the Bioluminescence is out right in when you come to Palm Bay, there's a little bay right there, which is basically, it is considered the Bay of Palm Bay. And then where the Bioluminescence is at is right about where the river meets that bay. So it's right on the edge. And then, but most of the paddling that gets done at Paddling Paradise is up Turkey Creek into the sanctuary. And it's gorgeous. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous up there.
Do you ever see like gators or anything?
Yep, gators, manatees, dolphins, fish, all sorts of fish.
They all swim in the same water?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So is this fresh water, salt water, or is it?
It's considered brackish water.
Brackish. Is that kind of mix?
Yep, it's a mix of salt and fresh. If you go 2.5 miles west of the shop, there's a dam which leads to the Tillman Canal, which leads to the St. Johns River. That's all fresh water on the other side of the dam, and then it spills over into Turkey Creek, and then has salt water coming from the lagoon.
So, do people bring lunches and stuff out there with them?
You can do whatever you like. Can
they go out by themselves too?
Yep.
They bring their own gear and go?
Yep. So we offer a free launch facility right there right now. So if you have your own kayak or paddleboard, you can come and launch and go out on your own.
Okay.
If you need rentals, we have that as well.
So for these bioluminescence tours, what is somebody going to pay for these tours? What does that run?
Now it's $45 for a basic kayak or a paddleboard, and then if you have your own equipment, it's free.
Okay, to go on the tour?
Yep.
So they can. Okay.
Yeah, so they can just jump in with us.
How long is the tour?
Last night we were out from about 8:30 until close to 10.
Oh,
so
that's
hour and a half.
That's a decent amount of time. And
Yep.
it's $45 you said?
Yep. Yes.
What kind of we're going to put you on the spot, Dan. What kind of anybody mentions in this podcast? What kind of discount you going to throw them?
Yeah. We can do 10% or something like that.
Okay,
yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So 10%. So
Sure.
if you mention the podcast and tell Dan you came from us, 10% off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. And it's really good right now. Our next event is the 28th or the 29th, 30th, and 31st. So that's right around the new moon is on the Thursday, the 28th, I believe.
Okay.
So we'll do Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the end of the month.
So there's no more between now and then.
You could go out, but
you're not going to see anything.
I mean, you could see it, but it's a bit of an effort for us to put this together.
Okay.
So we want it to be the best for the customers.
Right. Customer satisfaction.
That's it. Yep.
So coming from the old business, because you weren't doing sales then at all.
No,
not even much human interaction. It seems like, right?
No.
Did you have to develop people skills going into this? Was it hard? Because you seem military. You seem kind of like
that's still going.
You ask a question, I'll answer. Other than that, I'm not going to say a word.
Right. That's an ongoing thing right now. Is still trying to face the public. But when I'm with somebody at the shop, when they walk in and they see me and I know what they're there for, it's very easy to get relaxed into this.
Into that, yeah. Were you nervous about that in the beginning?
Sometimes I still am.
Do you have like nightmares, cold sweats about it?
I didn't have any of that, no. But it was, still learning on, customer service skills, things like that, and how to help my employees do that as well.
Is it hard leading a group of people, especially because they're part-time and some of them are young, right? So is it like, is there an essence of laziness there, or do these people like dig their job that much where it's like they don't feel like they're working?
A little bit of both, I would say. Most of the time, the employees are really good. They're younger, so I think for me, it's learning how to lead them. I think I could be a better leader at times, for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you ever feel like man, I feel like your parent, trying to
Yeah.
But it's at the same time, it's got to be like, I don't know, when I was in like high school, dream jobs were either being like a lifeguard or working at some sort of a pool setting. This is what you really want to be doing. You're out in the sun all day. You're doing something cool. It's not boring, right? Time probably moves by in this industry, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah. So my employees, the ones that I've had in the past that have come back, and paddle with us or whatever, I ran into one of the parents from one of my old employees, and she said that her son said this was the best summer job he ever had.
Really?
Yeah. And I could see that. And when we're busy, my employees love it because, time just spins, right?
Right.
When we're not busy,
it's like watching paint dry.
Yeah. But that's all going to change with all the new development that's going to happen right at Paddling Paradise. It's going to be amazing there. I mean, yeah.
How much competition do you have in like a 5-mile radius?
I'm not even sure what that word means.
So what separates you guys? What if somebody were like, hey, I want to go paddleboarding? What's the difference between picking Dan or picking Bob down the street?
So I think, that was a joke. We do have competition. The quality of the product that we have is what it is, we spend more on our kayaks. We spend more on our paddleboards, on the paddles and everything about it. I'm very passionate about having quality product there. In 9.5 years, I can't think of 10 people that have come back and said this is terrible and I'll never do it again. It's all about customer satisfaction, and we have that. There's no question, and it's because of the quality of the boards and our employees showing people what they need to do before they get out on the water.
And you train all these people individually, like
I do, or one of my main employees, Daniel, does.
Okay, everybody's Daniel.
Yeah, it seems that's a good thing.
Sounds biased to me.
That's it.
So I imagine that must have a lot to do with it because, the concept is easy. You get on a paddle boat and you go out and go, but you're creating kind of an atmosphere. You're creating these areas of where you're going to take people. Is it hard creating that kind of like they're not just going paddle boarding. They're going to go out and there's going to be stuff to do while they go out. Do you take them to places where they can like get off and go walk around in nature at all?
We do a lot of fun things there. I mean, there's always, Women on Water is every Wednesday. So that's only women, and they go out at 6:30 right now.
At night?
At night. So we go out, watch the sunset, go up the creek, and it's just women.
Oh, that's cool.
That was something I created, and after realizing that, sometimes these women want to go out and not be with a bunch of guys. So
right.
So we'll go out and do things. We do running and paddling at the same time. Turkey Creek, in the sanctuary, there's great trails there. So sometimes we'll paddle from the shop, get to the sanctuary, get off the boards, go run for 2 miles in the trails, come back, and
it's like a gym.
Yeah, we can do anything there, and it's such a great area to be able to do things like that. So we're always being creative on.
Do you do stuff for kids too, like around Easter and stuff, like Easter egg hunts on a paddleboard?
Yep. Easter, Halloween, Christmas. We participated in the Christmas parade, boat parades. So, yeah.
What about like water? Like, do you guys do like music events out there ever, or?
Well, we have a 4-race series, and we just did a race last weekend on Sunday night, and we had live music there. Mike Cameron from Kissimmee came over and played. And
these are races like
5K paddle,
really?
Just like you think of a 5K running race. We do the same thing, 5K paddleboard race, out to the bridge, Malabar Bridge, and back.
Who's Melbourne standing champion?
Probably Kevin Wooden.
Kevin?
In paddleboard, and then J.D. Smith in kayak canoe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do those two ever go at it head-to-head?
Surf ski is what J.D. rides, and it's faster than a paddleboard.
Okay, so he's going to win.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's very cool, man. Yeah. So when we come out there and do this, so for me going out, me and Shelly, not doing this before, aside from the bioluminescence, what would be a cool time for people that like, hey, we want to go out for a fun date. We also want to be active, but we don't want to get bored. What would you recommend, like on a date night or date day?
I still think even, sunsets are my favorite time. to go out. So you can go out, and if you're paddleboarding or kayaking, if you want to move, you can move. So you'll be active.
Can you bring alcohol on these trips?
You can. We don't advise it too much, but
Right.
you can if you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you want to bring a White Claw with you,
Sure.
it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't get
That's
out
fine.
there and be belligerent.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, and people bring pets, which are fine. We don't really recommend them going up into the sanctuary because there can be gators up there.
Oh, that'd be scary. Shelly's already terrified. Don't tell her that.
Yeah, well, I mean, gators are fine. We saw one last night that was close to a kayak. I mean, as soon as it noticed the kayak, it went underwater and went the other way. I mean,
These gators are probably used to seeing people.
yeah. It's not really a problem unless you're in their space and they can't get away. I mean, if they can't get away, then
Yeah, we don't want to be on an episode of Florida Man.
no. I think we're fine.
So people can find you. Is it best to go through your Facebook page?
Facebook page or paddlingparadise.com. And then we're on other things. We have started a Paddle Sports League, which is a league for racing, all paddle sports. So there's paddlesportsleague.com. It's got its own Facebook page.
This is your business?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So you have leagues.
And then the website, and then another thing that I created, which was a fin box lock that locks up paddleboard. So that's another way to find me.
A fin box lock.
Yeah.
And you'll provide me with links and all the stuff so I can kind of point people there.
I can do that.
Is there anything that people don't generally know that you wish more people knew about? Something that you guys do or you're passionate about?
Well, I think one of the things that is funny is that when people come in to rent, they think we only rent, and they don't know we sell anything. And the people that come in to buy stuff, they don't realize that we rent. So I'm trying to figure out how to get around that.
You ever thought about putting like on the paddle boards themselves, like, hey, do you like me?
That
Own me,
or
something,
Yard signs as they're pulling in. Yes, we rent. Yes, we sell. A little bit of everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, we'll
Yeah.
make sure that we, push it out there and let people know that, you guys are also now the ones that you rent, you don't sell those.
We do.
Oh, you do.
So that's
so you get a better deal, I imagine, because it's somewhat used.
A little bit both. We do sell our rental stuff sometimes, but not always. Like right now, we're not selling our rental stuff.
Okay.
But we sell and rent the same equipment, and that's very important because we want
what
people
you're getting.
to. We want them to be able to try it, but also they can see that these are quality products.
Right.
If they can stand up in the rental fleet, they're a quality product.
Do most companies in this industry, do they purchase top-notch stuff and rent it out, or
No. And I think that's a big difference. There are some, but a lot of places, and I've traveled around and I've seen a lot of outfitters, and they're putting, it's a kind of a pet peeve of mine, a lot of places will put people on a stand-up paddleboard that's more like a surfboard in the middle of a lake, and it's an experience. It's still a great experience, but it's not as much as they could get if they had the proper equipment there.
really? So there is a difference.
So there's an absolute difference.
And it must be frustrating to a lay person that's going to go do this. They're like, well, why are they so much cheaper? And it's like, well,
Yeah, well, it's
there's,
that happens, and it's the.
and it's hard. You don't want to sit there and bash the competition, but it's like, well, you're riding a Walmart brand.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly the same thing. And I have friends that own local bike shops, and they've been dealing with that forever. They're dealing with how do you compete with that, and you just put them on it, show them the difference,
Right.
And
So do you give people, if they're interested, like to somebody, if somebody wanted to buy one of your paddle boards, would you say go rent it first, or if say if you want to come out, we'll zip you around on it? Is there like free trials, things
free.
like okay,
Free demo every single day.
free demo every single free demo. So there's a
Free
demo
try.
time.
Nope. Anytime you want to come in, anytime you want to walk in the door, you can try everything in the shop.
And
which
how do
is
they
very
try
unique.
it? How does that work? Like, so say I want to come in, I want to try one of these paddle boards. We actually go out in the water.
Yep. So we'll narrow down what you think you want.
Right.
And then put that board on the water or that kayak on the water, and you just go out and give it a try. We'll show you what you need to know, and then you try it out.
So the fact that you're doing that must mean it usually converts, because if it didn't work, everybody just came out for the free ride. At some point, you'd probably put an end to that. So people are purchasing.
People are definitely purchasing, and usually, we go a lot on the honor system. That's another thing I feel strongly about. Somebody that's going to say that they're coming in to purchase something and go through that.
Usually does.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So you got good clientele.
Yeah.
I imagine not just everybody's like it's if you're going to spend that kind of money, you've probably weighed the options for a while now.
Yeah, and we just want, again, back to that whole effect of buying cheap stuff. We want people to get on quality products. So, you try a product out that we have, and you'll see the difference between that and something that's, a few $100s cheaper, whether we're talking a kayak or a paddleboard. You'll see the difference.
Are there ever days where you're like, oh, I wish I didn't get into this business?
Yeah, there are those days, and then you just go for a paddle, and you come back, and you go, okay, this is why I do it.
What's the hardest part about it? If you had to like what's something that reoccurs in a daily, weekly, where you're like, man,
Purchasing.
just purchasing, huh? How often do you purchase stuff?
Often. I mean, I'm always purchasing.
Okay.
And finding new products, again, because, finding products for, whether it's, we do everything there, and I guess this is another thing. We help people with racks for cars, trailers, everything else. So when you come in, you can walk out with everything you need to put in your car.
You guys do trailers too? Do you guys do like the whole hitch setup and everything?
We don't put hitches on. There's a local company that's been around forever that does hitches.
Okay.
But we can usually, with COVID, everything's been, there's slight delays in things, but
So you sell the racks that go like on top of cars,
Yep.
SUVs, things like
Yep.
that. So they can get it's a one-stop shop more or less, anything you need.
Yep.
What about repairing stuff that's like broken down, even if they didn't buy it from you?
sure, yeah, we can do that. Yep. And we'll give advice on things that aren't bought from us, and we see that. That's the other thing we see, because we have a free launch. Somebody that just bought a board off an Amazon, a cheap board, and because it's low price, they'll immediately see that they shouldn't have bought that as soon as they get out on the water.
How many phones get lost a week?
A lot. Phones and keys. I tell people if it doesn't float, it shouldn't go on the water. It's got to float. People will bring a phone and put it in a Ziploc bag.
Yep.
That doesn't float.
I just went kayaking in Jupiter for my first time, and my waterproof phone, after getting wet over and over and over again, I didn't think I was going to fall off of a kayak, but you go over these little makeshift waterfalls, and sure enough, fall. And then between the heat and the water, the phone was just toast, and contacts all gone.
Yeah.
I lost my shirt there. I mean, just everything.
$15, you could have bought a floating case, and you would have been.
I was just going to say, so you guys have those
Oh,
cases? Are they the ones that you twist shut and they hold air inside?
Yeah, there's a few different type, but yeah, you twist it, and then it's like a Ziploc, but it actually floats. So
And you own this for $15, or you?
Yeah,
Okay.
you own it. Yep.
And stuff but nothing comes with the kayak rental that's like, hey, put your stuff in here.
No.
Okay.
No, and
Do you have to wear a life jacket when you go out?
6 years old and under have to wear their life jacket.
Okay.
6 years and older than 6 do not have to wear a life jacket, but there has to be a life jacket on board for each person.
So for safety purposes, it's there.
Yep.
I'm sure liability and insurance.
Yeah, we follow the U.S. Coast Guard rules, so
Okay.
That's the rules, and for all boats, we kayaks and paddleboards follow the same rules as regular boats.
Do you get a lot of do elderly people come out
Yeah.
Really?
Because we can assist people to get on and off. We have handicapped people that come. We have a woman that is pretty handicapped, and she comes and she paddleboards, and she's
Must be therapeutic.
It's unreal to watch some of this. People that get out on the water, once they come back, I mean, they're good.
So you guys do sunrises, or not sunrise, but
We used to do, and we should probably start doing sunrise sessions. We used to do it on Friday.
that sounds pretty peaceful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. You go out there, watch the sun come up. It's just early.
And you're already going. Yeah.
But we do sunsets every Saturday, and Women on Water on Wednesday, and then Tuesday night racing on Tuesday.
So you do have key people in your organization, though. Like if you are going to go out of town, business still operates.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Every day. We're open every single day.
Every single day.
9 to 6 during the week, and
Even during off season.
Yeah, well, usually during the off season, we close. We just close early.
Okay. That's all.
On Sundays. Yeah.
It's never that cold in Florida. People can always go hop on a kayak.
Yeah, you get people down from Canada, from the north in the wintertime, and they wanna go out, and this is nothing to them, even when it's cold here for us.
So how hard is it running? So you're running the business, you're managing the business, you're buying, you're purchasing, selling, dealing with all of these things. Somebody that's out there going, hey, I'm going to go start a business. And I mean, it really probably applies to any type of a business. We're going to leave somebody, we're going to depart with some advice from Dan. If you're going to start a business tomorrow, before you do it, what should they do?
Open a book.
Open a book.
Or I just started reading on Kindles. Open a book, read
About the industry?
About the industry that you're going in. But that's only a small part, and it'll apply to most other things. I mean, I read about my specific industry, but I read about other industries too and see what they're doing and what the flow is of other things, and how to manage people, how to be a better leader. All these things, you have to learn how to do that. Even as a one-man band, you have to learn how to lead yourself to a better place.
Why do you think most business fails? Do you think it's a bad product or bad plan?
I think it's a bad plan, because I think there's always a good product for somebody to be able to have, and most of the time the product's coming from something inside. That's where your product's at, no matter what it is that you're doing. That's the first phase, is you're the product. Then you find good products to, over time we've brought things in that maybe we shouldn't have brought in, and we realized, this wasn't the best product, and we moved on. You make mistakes.
Was there ever a time where you didn't think you were going to make it, where you're like, man, I don't know if I want to do this anymore?
No.
Nope, never.
No, I mean, there's been struggles, but there was never a time where I felt like there was no way we were going to make it.
Is this the only business that you have that generates revenue, or do you own rental properties or anything? Or?
No, this is the business, but the side offshoots are like the Finbox lock I was saying. That it's very small part of revenue.
It generates.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You can buy them on Amazon. You can.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, Dan, I appreciate you coming out today. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you got Bioluminescence tours to go out there and give. But so we're going to drop all of your contact information here, and I appreciate you coming on, my man. Thank you very much.
I appreciate it. Thank you.